pictures. He's not even angry. But people like Gucci now.
Is that your own complaint for the noise pollution?
Yes. That's my own complaint. And seriously, if you come to my area in the street, even in midnight, I don't know. It's not about church of a thing, but government, police are supposed to even say you don't do like this, but then like, oh my sister.
Thank you very much. I never ever imagined someone will complain about the siren police. They blow while moving in their van. Well, I'm not so clear on that particular one, so I wouldn't want to say much about it. I would love to speak with some security personnel or some security experts to know if actually they are supposed to do that, even while patrolling or something. But I heard it's not confirmed and it's not the authentic reason, but I heard it's actually used to just put people in the know that there are security personnel around, and probably for safety reasons, if anybody's planning to do anything and they know some police are around, they'll take off or something like that. But like I said, I promise to get a security expert on that one and we'll share with you. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Good evening.
Emenike.
Good evening. How are you?
Very well, thank you. And you?
I'm fine.
Go ahead, please.
I'm calling from the anyway.
Yeah.
I like don't have problem at Indele. No problem at Indele. Yeah. So you wanted to know the situation of Rumuchi?
Yes, please.
Yeah. After that crisis on Saturday, Rumuchi has been calm and peaceful. There's no problem at Rumuchi for now.
Okay.
And I was at this afternoon. I went to some bars. We stayed. We did everything. No molestation. No problem anywhere. So, which is why I called this night. It's about Ndele. Ndele is one of the most peaceful communities in this LGA. Somebody called me at the market yesterday, Rumuchi market, the woman criticizing that every time I give report about LLA, about Rumuchi, about Iba, but I don't give report about Ndele. I always tell people what is happening at Ndele. You see, Ndele is one of the communities that we are law abiding. We don't make problems. And if all communities will run in this state, they will not run because we have the fear of God. You see what I'm saying this thing? About 3 weeks ago, everybody wants us back. We need us back more than any other person. They came and killed one of our boys and dropped the body in the body pit at Rumuchi. So nothing happened. None of the person protested. None of the person went to police. None of the person did anything. But look at what happened at the pit yesterday. Actually, what happened at Ndele 3 weeks ago, nobody talked, but now it has happened at Twitter. When I called that time, they said, oh, I'm spoiling the name of OSPAC. I'm giving them the wrong name. That is not. I want OSPAC to do what they are doing at Omoko. Civic in this community, not killing people. Look at what is happening at Twitter. So, everybody wants OSPAC, but let it not be the way they are doing it. So, I do not know what happened at Aba when they brought Bakati or Isaka, what they call it. And that group came. Let what these people are being at home. Let them do it in these communities. And
you personally, what's your stand on OSPAC?
My OSPAC, we need OSPAC.
Okay.
But they should know what they are doing at home. They should be professional. I mean, they should be professional.
Isn't that what they're doing?
No. Shooting, killing people anyhow is not professional.
Okay.
You should arrest, interview, investigate before killing. Not just shooting anyhow. That is my own problem.
So, like you're saying, what do you think will be the way out to salvage this issue? Since you're saying OSPAC shoot around and a whole lot of other things, do you think weapons like guns and the rest of it should be taken away from OSPAC?
I didn't say so.
Okay.
They have the instrument of getting those bad people.
Okay.
They use those machineries they use at home in these communities to get those bad boys. That is what I'm saying. So I'm not saying that they should not go with guns.
Okay.
But they should not be like that.
Okay.
If they go to the community, we know that officers are in the community. They'll be shooting. So we don't want it that way. That's my own problem.
All right. Thank you very much for calling in, MNK. Earlier yesterday, there was actually a report on an uneasy calm in Igruta Ali community. That's following the alleged killing of a man identified as Eze Wali, who was believed to be a farmer from the community by men suspected to be members of Onelga Security and Peace Committee, that's OSPAC. So our correspondent was able to gather that the killing of Wali sparked a serious protest by angry youth of the community who took the corpse and blocked the Owerri Port Harcourt Expressway and then later proceeded to the airport road after the victim's brother claimed that his brother was not a cultist or a criminal. So the victim's brother told our correspondent that the men of OSPAC saw his brother at the farm road where they had asked him to join them in their car, and he was shot dead after he refused to go with them. He said two other people who were arrested alongside his brother were later dropped off at the airport junction. But in the meantime, the River State Police Command is still yet to react to the killings and kidnapping incidents. That's what Emenike was actually reacting to when he brought up the issue of OSPAC. 95.1 FM, good evening.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
My name is Peter.
Good to have you on the program. Go ahead, please.
I want to talk about the Mokoro police issue.
Okay.
And last time I called the chairman of Obiapo local government,
okay,
telling him the best thing he will do, the best thing he will do is to make sure that those marketers and the car, all these guys, he doesn't load there and doesn't sell on the street. I think he will be one of the best local government chairman. But last year today, when I was passing there, I want to go through Chobua. The police woman came and asked the driver, all these drivers, they are very stubborn, and they were still looking at that place. And the policewoman came, police money. I was surprised. I asked the driver, what's a police money? That means to give him the 100 naira so that he will be loading. You look at what they're doing. Sometimes I wonder why all these our police people, anywhere you see people loading illegally, you will see police there. Please mark this thing I'm talking to you. Any illegal loading or park, you will see police there. That means illegality is illegality. Illegal driver, illegal passenger, illegal police. I don't know if you understand me.
I'm listening to you.
They should go to a park. Whenever you see illegal park, you will see illegal police. And you see illegal driver, you see illegal passenger.
Are you saying the policemen in those parks are illegal? It means they are not policemen.
They make themselves illegal because they're supposed to know what they're supposed to do. So what I want is to make sure that nobody loads any place.
What if they were there for some other reasons?
No other reason to stay one place and say, bring money, 100 naira. You don't load, right of your own. And that is no other reason. It's to make sure that the patrol team doesn't worry those people. And the people know them as illegal collection. So I want, talking about this OSPAC issue, I want to advise River State people. If you don't want us back, you allow them to go back to Omok. Because with all this idea, they keep the normal person, the right person. Because I know that whenever you see boys carrying gun and all these things, most of them are evil. If not to pay them, they pay well. If not do this, they that. You should know that whenever somebody say you are wrong, because people believe us back, that is why they bring them. If they don't believe them, they wouldn't have bring them from Omok. They know that what they did in Omok became calm. So they call them. Whatever they are doing there, it's just like when you accept somebody to be your father, to be your mother. Whatever you see through him, you take it like that because that is what you want. No, they love us back and brought us back. There is no need for somebody to make a protest because of one killing or the other. Because they trust him, knowing that they are doing the best work. So, like what they did yesterday at the Greater, I think they're supposed not to do that. Because they brought us back to the local government. Any person they kill, they should know that those people that are killing by maybe even the person is wrong. It's not to go to the right person.
Do they have the right to kill anybody? They are supposed to work as police officers.
We are by the handing it over to the police. Police will release them the following day. The society want those people to be eliminated. Despite that we are silent. They know. We know that actually immediately you say police or take over. Before you know it, they come back.
I don't know.
Now look at what happened at Shoba. How are you? Can you just understand that the whole boys, all of them have gone? It is only when you see people sleeping with them. Are they military men? Are they police? But you can see them with gun. That means the society is polluted. Things are happening inside. So at least if they should be dying or maybe eliminating them, then you discover that everywhere.
First of all, they are not supposed to, and they work with security personnel. When they get these boys, they hand them over to the police or any security agency they are supposed to hand over to. So any other part of justice is not in their hand. So that should be stated clearly.
If I should ask you, the vote and the insurrection, a kind of attacking the government, is it right? You know, there is somehow something will happen. You revolt. It's not that maybe in any way you don't have right to revolt, no matter what. But the truth is this, there is how something will happen at the left. You say, don't use left, don't use left. I just sometimes you use left. Because if you continue pampering, don't worry, they go according to law and constitution, go to the police, go to the law, so that before you know the day we come back. Okay, if I happen to be a vigilante now, I report maybe somebody, all of a sudden the boy come back. What do you think will be like it? So sometimes eliminate them so that other people, now they say Chukuma don't die. No wow, I no go follow again. The person will resign. It's not the idea of them going there. At the end of it, the person will come back again. All parts should be up and doing. Eliminate and kill whoever that is there.
Oh, well, that's not what the law says. They are working with security agency, so you don't have the right to eliminate anybody. You are not the law. You are not justice. 95.1 FM.
Hello, Buchi.
Hello. Good evening.
Buchi, good evening.
Welcome.
Yeah, my name is Raf.
Raf?
Yes, Raphael. I'm calling from here in Port Harcourt.
Okay, good to have you. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I want to comment on this issue of this Ospark they're talking about.
All right, we're listening.
We have problem in this river state. We have a lot of problems.
Okay.
When we talk about getting a solution to this problem, somebody from nowhere, somebody from somewhere will comment, they're talking on it, talking what is not, what is irrelevant.
What are you saying now?
Now, the Ospark, there's no way one can go for a war. Somebody must die. That is pure. That is truth. And another one again is this. The Ospark has come, and they'll do a lot of things. If by an accident, and then the village also somebody, and is that what they're crying for? So we have a serious security situation in this country, in this Port River State. Then they shall allow the Ospark to do the needful. So calm down this situation.
But as much as we haven't heard from the River State Police Command, and we haven't gotten their reaction or what they have to say about it, based on this alleged story now, if it's actually true, I'm not saying it's true, but what if it is true? Are you okay with it?
Yeah, let me tell you one thing. What they are doing, I witnessed what had happened sometime when this Bakati was working at this Abba. There are even when they were ordered that when you get these bad boys, send it to the police. And
yes.
at the end, when the gun gets there, the police parley with them, the police will release them. And then go back again for this crime. And you continue to circulate. So how long will it continue? How long will it continue? You have had an instances where police have disappointed a lot of. It wasn't even the police that messed up this situation in this state. Then, where did this people not come up? And then doing the right thing.
So for you, no matter what it is they are doing, or no matter what it is that is happening, you are fine with it.
Yes.
Okay.
They are supposed to continue their work.
All right. Thank you very much.
They're supposed to continue their work. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Hello, good evening, Buchi.
Good evening to you. Welcome.
Buchi, this is Comrade UNS calling from Istanbul in America.
Comrade, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Buchi. Buchi, let me talk about the declaration by our governor yesterday concerning schools in River. In as much as we expect that from him, although we have been hearing that, I don't know how effective this one will be. I also expect that you pay more attention to infrastructure. I believe the schools, all the schools in River State, they are in no state of saying this is a River State school or a school of the state. The poor state of those schools must be given immediate attention. Like I said, I don't know how effective this will be. As of today, my daughter is still informing me that they are paying 2,500 for
What
exam.
school is that?
That is a community secondary school, Osiabo UB session. So
Okay.
I don't know if they have communicated the schools, but I believe the principal was there at that meeting. And I know so much levies, they say they pay environmental PTA. I don't know if what the governor is saying also affect the area of PTA. The fees they charge for PTA.
So as at today, your daughter told you they asked for all that fee?
Yes, they already since last week they have been on it. I believe that some parents have paid their own, and some people are still trying to gather their money to pay. I don't know if they will be refunded. That has not been done. Those who have paid already, I don't know if by this governor's order they will be refunded.
Okay.
So I'm saying that the governor should also immediately set up this team. Let them go straight to this school and make sure that what he has said is implemented immediately. The school, first state of the school, community secondary school, Oshiamu, I cannot say that I am tired of saying it. I will keep on saying it. And I believe that the governor will hear us and he will come to our rescue. It was on this channel we talked about Oshiabu Road, that is Omok Oshiabu Road. And as we speak now, Buchi, the NDDC contractor doing that job, like I said, from Omok to Oshiamu is perfectly done. The only area we are having a little problem is that of Oshiamu to Elieta. And what you are seeing from Omok to Oshiamu, at least we are happy that government can hear our voice, though federal government. They can hear our voice through NDDC and attend to us. So Oshiamu is happy now. We have a very good road to Omok town. And I am praying that the governor should also try to register his presence in this area in Hebrew clan. There is nothing we can point of the state government in Hebrew clan. I am begging the governor to come to our rescue, please. That's my area talk with you for this evening.
All right. Thank you very much, Comrade EU Ernest, for calling in. 95.1 FM, good evening. Hello. Good evening. Okay, do all to call back. The numbers are 0817 0000951 or 0810 951 Text message, WhatsApp message could be sent to the number 0701 933 9962. Don't forget the program is Area Talk, and we basically talk about everything. Nothing is insignificant. We talk about everything happening in our society, no matter how little it is, or no matter how insignificant you think it is, it counts. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Good evening, Buchi.
Good evening to you. Welcome.
Is DK on the line?
DK, welcome. How are you doing today?
Fine, also.
Very well. It's good to hear from you today. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. I want to speak in respect of these obstacle issues.
Oh, yes.
Yes. You see, one thing in this our society is that just fact now, they are now claiming they are doing this, doing that. What about those criminals? The people they are killing, does the law cover them to kill anybody?
Well, as much as it's not been confirmed,
As much as it has not been confirmed.
we haven't heard from River State Police Command.
So each time you make comment, you say they have no right, that the criminal has rights to kill. The criminal has rights to do anything.
Nobody has the right to take any life.
Okay. Let's talk again is that about this rulemaking issue. Water, flood after rulemaking. At the back of your station there, Today FM.
Okay.
People living around there, we are suffering. Honestly speaking, once it drops like this, everywhere will be flooded. For 2-3 days, it becomes another thing. I bet they should try and help us. The person who constructed the road, when he was doing that, we asked, so he will do this, he will do that. Where do they have those people? Where the water supposed stay? That place is more or less ordinary ground. He said he will come and clean the place so that the water can be remaining inside that place. But nothing has been done. And look at the civil we are now. We are dying here, of which you do see it within your station there. What is happening over there? But they should try and help us. Please.
Okay. All right, thank you. 95.1 FM, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you.
My name is Chinedu.
Chinedu, welcome.
Thank you. We said that he's going to construct airport road to, I think, Imo State. And that when I look at that road, LPA's federal government are supposed to do that road. But we supposed to do issue a road. He divided the road. Instead of him to complete that road, he divided it and commissioned that area and left. Today, Isoko is still suffering. Why should a government in a state, instead to complete the road, he divided it and they left? Maybe one is for PDP, the other one is for APC. Which is not supposed to be so. There are other internal roads in the state that the governor is supposed to do. He left them. Look at many communities. He promised everything, politics. Now you want to go where they will praise you. You want to do airport road that's supposed to be done by the federal government. I think Wike is not helping the state. You should know that government is continuing. Do something so that at the end of your tenure, people will praise you. Why people?
Sorry, I lost you there. I don't know what happened to the line. Meanwhile, around Location Junction, location by Ada George, just by that fast food there, not so far from the junction, that place has been in a very horrible state. And I took that part yesterday evening, and I noticed they were walking on that road, and they were covering all those potholes. That road leading to what do you call it? New Road by location. Please, I would really love to know how far that thing has gone and who exactly is responsible for that one. And then something happened in Cross River State. The Cross River State Emergency Management Agency, that's SEMA, says it will create jobs for 300 Cameroonian refugees in Adagon, Ogoja local government area of the state. The acting director Director General of SEMA, Mr. Princewill Ayim, he disclosed this on Monday to the news agency of Nigeria in Calabar. So he said the jobs would be created in collaboration with a non-governmental organization, Peculiar Foundational. Added that members of the host community would also benefit. He explained that the employment would help in reintegrating the refugees and boosting the economy of the host communities for a peace coexistence. According to him, Cross River was hosting over 27,000 Cameroonian refugees, a number he said constituted 75% of the entire refugees in Nigeria. And then the acting DG said that the refugees would be employed to work in the agricultural sector and livelihood ventures of the foundation with a view to enhancing their well-being. He said that the project of the partnership was to help in reducing the economic burden faced by the state government in providing basic amenities for them. Now, that's what they had to say. But then some persons came out to say, well, as much as it's not a very bad idea assisting refugees, how about indigents that have no job? Why not split it? But although they said the host communities would also benefit, but then some persons have come out. These are refugees. Yes, we know they need to survive, not to cause nuisance in the country or in that part of the state, but provide a job as well for those living in Cross River State. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Eddie from Azora.
Good to have you on the program. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I want to talk about this state, the governor, this thing in state.
His what?
The governor's declaration in the state concerning the secondary school.
All right, go ahead,
primary
please.
School.
Go on, please.
I got the information my children just told me today.
Mm-hmm.
That in Ozova, the state primary school Ozova,
Mm-hmm.
that those students, they must pay for their exam fees and also pay for, is it a party fee?
Party fee, okay.
Yes, that they have a party, end of year party. They must pay for their exam fees and the party fees, whether they like it or not.
And they said it's compulsory.
It is compulsory, whether the governor likes it or not. That they must pay. If they don't pay, that they cannot be promoted. They must repeat their class.
Well, was that what their principal told them? Or the head of the school?
That should be the head of the school. The head of the school told them today in the school that if they don't pay, they must repeat.
Wow. Okay, thanks for that. What's the name of the school again, please?
The state primary school as well.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Please, I would urge each and every one of you that have issues like this. Comrade EU Ernest, please, I will need you to forward the name of that school. And for other persons that have issues with schools, there are government and public schools that are still asking the children to pay a certain amount of money for whatever fee it is. Please forward me messages because I know I might not be able to take all the calls, but just forward the message. I'll get it and we'll work with that. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Hello, Buki.
Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening. This is Igbo. Buki, even in UP Modern Primary School, Hoda East, we paid 4,700 naira for final exam, primary 6 exam.
Okay.
So what I want to chip in about...
when did you make that payment?
The payment, I make it just about... just should be on last week Friday.
Okay,
Thursday.
before this. Okay, all right.
But people are still making the payment now. They are still making the payment.
Okay.
What I want to chip in, Buchi, is that last dispensation of excellency, so they don't take proper care of public school and public school, River State Public School. So if Excellency is making that entrance now to ensure that the public school now they will not pay money again. I love it. I like it. It's a welcome development because many people now cannot be able to train their children again because of this illegal fee every time. You see, like the past WAEC they are doing. You see that if you don't submit the money to the school authority, they will not allow the children to write the exam. Compulsory, even if you have completed all the dues in the school, but you will ensure that each paper you must pay money. So which is uncalled for. If somebody is training 2 to 3 children and is paid maybe 20,000 naira as a civil servant, how can he be able, after struggling himself to register the person, and they will urge the person without paying money for each paper, you will not write the exam. If you have science, you like agri science, you practical 1, you pay. Practical 2, you pay. Objective, you pay. Theory, you pay. Only one paper, you can pay up to 3,000 to 4,000 naira.
Are you serious?
Where is the money? So that is why I was so happy. If Excellency will not use that speech as a political speech, then I will love it. And the primary school is very costly. Very costly. So many persons cannot be able to train their children. So if Excellency bringing a commission of education, they should select somebody that can put his eye properly for school, so that our parents cannot suffer, because parents are suffering seriously. Parents are suffering. Government are not helping parents like the past dispensation. This is a key government.
All right. Thank you very much. I think you went off there. This person says suicide has become synonymous with the current. Okay, you're comparing it with the current APC government, and you said the economy is going from bad to worse daily. Old, young men and women, students, etc. are victims. That's coming from Eric. Okay. This person says, please inform our government that PDP ward executives that are not paid their empowerment since last year are still waiting for their empowerment. Since committee have submitted their reports, we are angry and hungry over the delay. That's coming from Sam Chinedu in Emolga. And this other one says, taking a while to open. Let's get back to the phone lines. Good evening. Please turn off your radio set. You are Brahma.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing today?
I am not happy.
You are Brahma. Every day you are not happy. What happened again?
By road. That my road makes me not so happy for every day why I'm calling this station. But I don't know what government is doing. This my road, where we are crying. Where cry is in our eye every time. I don't know how government will just abandon that road, and the government will go another road where even the people even never need the road to walk. They will go and walk the road. What people never even near that place. People never even talk about the road. They will just go on their road. What of the one where government is say people they suffer for here, they will not do it. Instead of them to do the one where they not people will benefit, they will go and do the one where people will benefit. But see, I am worried. I am not happy for this our road. For since let me say 1 year now we are about this road. Government, keep their ear like they are not hearing us. You know that is they worry me. It's worrying me well. So let government help us for this our road, this road where. I don't know what I would say about it. We are marching for the red mud. You know they don't have any pity for their woman being who is suffering this kind of thing. They don't have anything to say about the suffering of people. No one that killing here because they are not concerned about their fellow human being. So let government help us now. So go and talk something about this road. How they manage this our road. So that one day we will have happiness from them. Let them come and help us. You know, this I am tired for this thing. And the many people, and this is not don't become said to me. For me to say, they say, we're going to fight. This is now. Some party people, what they tell me, say, at least they will walk their road. At least they this kind of a thing. So I am very angry. Let the governor come and help us. Let the government chairman, let them come and help us now. Let them not keep us like this. I am begging them. We look at school. No way. We are not talking about school again in my community. I don't know whether that school will still exist in the room. I don't know. What I will not get. No light. Nothing. Who don't want to say government don't help us for this job. We don't get anything. What we can boast of, say this is what government have done for us. So I am angry. So I beg, let them help us. If you like the way they are working for Rumuji, same that I tell you. I be now. That whole what
okay.
What they do is they want put the phone. Water don't food that place. Why they will just leave people like that? Maybe will begin suffer. It's no good. I don't know. This hot pack. I don't know why they are working. Then they think people want to do poison now. Only the poison they are following human being. After they don't get them, they don't kill them. Because that bad boy is what they kill person. And the person what they do kill person for poison. All killing are killing. So anything what they are doing, if they are not killing all these people what they do poison, they never start. Let them go find that who kill them, so that we don't need anything like the killing.
All right, Tiwaburma, thank you very much. Meanwhile, nobody has the right, like I said earlier, to kill anybody, to take anybody's life. It is not your right. You didn't give the person the life, so why would you want to take life out away from that person? 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Yes, for my sister. Good evening.
Welcome.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Sugarman, Echi.
Nugaman, welcome.
Yes, so.
All right, now
yeah,
go ahead.
Yes. I still want to talk about my area.
All right.
My sister. You know, we have entered into rainy season. Rain is falling every day by day now. Do you know that road, that Odufo Apok Umoye road, that I've been complaining about that road every day by day.
Okay.
And up to now, nothing is happening on that road. I think someone thank God that somebody called you from Echie yesterday about Umba, how Umba. My sister, this present government is not doing anything for Echie people at all. We are suffering. I don't know. I told you something last time that how will I be able to get you so that you can come and see things by yourself. So that if we are talking, you know that yes, we are telling you we are talking the truth. It's unfortunate. Now you have awarded that road. Fine, we applaud him. We thank him for that. But why not complete that project, that road for us? Why not complete that road? You know, now people cannot access to we cannot access to the neighboring village. At least Echie is a very at least we're mainly farmers in that place.
Okay.
Then we cannot access to our neighboring village. People driving bicycle or bike, even motor service is the worst. Motor cannot pass. Then what have we done? Okay, now I complain about light. We don't have light in that area. No health center. Even market safe, nothing. I don't know. We're asking River State. But River State government cannot come to our aid. Apart from the past administration, that was why I keep on praising that man every day by day. Even though I've not on my own personally, I've not gotten anything from that. But what that government did to Echie people he elevated us from much suffering. But up to today, this government now is not doing anything for us. Okay, look at that road now that I'm telling you now. In fact, it's eyesore. It cannot even pass that place again. We begin to wonder, say, why not leave this road as it was before? At least it could have been better. Now you have come to walk that road. We appreciate it, but nothing is still going on. The contractors have pulled away the equipment from that road. It's not good. It should at least the members representing in my own constituency in the House of Assembly. It's not even talking anything. It's not even doing anything. Or I wouldn't now representing in my own constituency. It's not even doing anything. I'm not even seeing him since he was elected. I'm not even seeing him any day. Talking of maybe coming to know what the people are passing through. I think it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. People when they see us shouting about this government, they thought that maybe because we are APC and this that. No, this is not even party affair now. This is all about the people. All about the people that voted. The people that voted you into power. Can't you at least maybe can't you make them happy? Alleviate their suffering so that tomorrow they'll be happy for you. Now, small time now, instead of we expire. And next another situation now, they're bringing another person again. It's unfortunate. Please, if you come to our place and rescue us. Please.
Okay.
That was why
How about the headsmen at Echie?
My brother, in my own area, we don't witness anything headsmen.
Okay, in your own part of Echie.
Yes.
Right.
We don't have any problem with headsmen.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for calling in. Like I said earlier, please, if you have issues, this payments of school fees, school principals or headmasters or headmistress or whoever is directing the school asking your ward or your child to pay for a fee for whatever it is, please send me a message. I'd love to get your message. I've been getting quite a number of them, but for those that are not including the names of the school, I would also love that you include the name of the school and what they're asking the child to pay. Please send them as text messages to me. If you can't reach, even if you can reach via the phone line, please just send an SMS. The number for the SMS and text messages is 0701 but you can call in on 0817000951. Good evening.
Hello, good evening, my sister.
Good evening, Professor Ekiti. You travel?
I travel with my sister. They arrange for my birthday ceremony for Rivers.
Your own birthday?
Yes, I want to celebrate my birthday.
Hey, congratulations. Happy birthday.
Thank you. When the time reach, I will bring an invitation come.
Okay, we there, wait. Welcome back. Go ahead, please.
My sister, what I just want to say today is a word of advice for what I saw yesterday, today afternoon. Because I was driving enter South Road. So when I tried to pass to buy something in that particular place. So when I saw one police van with two things, I see the other one parked on the back. When I say, who park this motor like this, that they don't even worry all those taxis that was loading in that particular place. And people are even moving around them. So they now tell me say that it is a SAS commander that they just carry come over say I don't want to say if to say all the police are allowed this I mean all the organ for police allow civilians to near them like this, things will go better. Because what makes me to say this is you will see DPO in some police station. Before you will see him, you will know what you go through before they allow you to see this person. So many people they get information where they're supposed to go and tell the boss, but everybody there's no way to even reach their boss. Which I will advise all the DPO and all the top police to allow people stay near them, because this boy just lower himself to the extent that he come down, buy what he want to buy. No, be say they carry gun begin the monitor am. I say, okay. I believe say police go see better when I see this as new SAS commander. So if you please continue do as if they do, so that if anybody gets information or if any of his people do anybody anyhow, you will get chance to enter the place to go and lay your complaint. Thank you very much, my sister.
All right. Thank you very much, Professor Ikiti. As much as we're happy that people are humble, no matter how highly placed you are, you still remain humble and approachable. I believe what most of us and most persons would want to see is results, positive change, improvement in security in every aspect, even in SARS and police itself. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Hello, Michelle.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
All right, good to have you. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, let me just react to one. That text message somebody wrote in that listing here that PDP World Esco Empowerment. They said the PDP had not paid for one Abrahamic since last year.
Yeah, the text message.
Yeah, so now if PDP are paying their World Esco, APC, what are they doing? I don't know the power of federal government. I don't know if they didn't just have representatives in River State here. The same thing is happening to APC, not only PDP. So I don't know why they are doing like this. Why are they maltreating people? The World Escorts are actively nothing these two major political parties in Nigeria. I don't know why. So I want to urge our leader they should also pay people. Because people are frustrated. Where are we heading to? Lastly, yesterday now, we can make the comment that any illegal fee in school, nobody should pay it. Now, in my own school, room, the community where I come from, where are they collecting those illegal fees? Collecting money for center for these are about 2 parents something. The 2 parents will pay. Where would the money come from? So they should take the instruction of the governor. Thank you, God bless Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much. Like I said, if you're having issues like that, please send a text message. 95.1 FM, good evening.
Good evening, my sister.
Welcome.
This is Cincinnati from Eli Brother.
Okay, welcome to the program.
Thanks. My area talk today is if Governor Wike is giving ultimatum to head teachers of government schools that they should not collect money from parents, he should please make a law guiding the teachers from being brutalized by children.
How do you mean?
Last week.
Are you a teacher?
No, I'm not a teacher.
Okay.
Last week, I helped a teacher out from being bullied by 4 teenagers.
Wow.
Simply because the teacher flogged their younger brother at school.
Are you serious?
I'm serious about it. While I was reporting it to some of my friends, they told me that something similar happened in another private school within Eli Brother. So this thing, I think there should be a policy guiding the teachers.
Okay.
I'm not a teacher, but I don't know if I may have a teacher as a relative to know or as a friend.
All right.
Apart from that, we are all humans. Secondly, concerning the protests, people protested at Iguitali yesterday or day before yesterday.
Okay.
If the man alleged killed is really an innocent, how come he has friends who are shooting on the air?
Okay.
Yes.
That's your own analysis.
Yes, if he was really an innocent man, if OSPA should stop killing people, though they don't have right to kill anybody, but if he was an innocent man, how come those protesting shooting? That means he was a cultist.
Yeah, well, you cannot conclude. Like I said earlier, we haven't heard from the state command, so we wouldn't know what exactly to say. But like I stated out, it's just your analysis.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks a lot. We have less than some seconds to go. And my last caller just pointed out, the issue of students attacking teachers. As at on Sunday, a family friend told me in his school, a lady slapped her teacher. She attacked her teacher. And I was like... I'm not trying to take it back to what happened between Wale Soyinka and the gentleman in the plane. That's aside. But then, what's happening to our children? Why would you want to attack your teacher? If there's something, if there's something bothering you that the teacher did, why not report to your parents and let them go to the school and tackle it out with the authorities? Why do students or pupils attack their teachers? It's not the first time I'm hearing something like this. I just heard one last Sunday, like I made mention of. But while parents, we have a lot to do, and I trust you will do great. It's been Area Talk here on Today 95.1 FM. Thanking you for doing this with me. We'll be back here tomorrow. Please, like I said, if you have issues, send them via text message so we work on it. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Canada is here.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of
Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
All right, good evening. Here's the news update at 8 on Today 95.1 FM. I am Kalada Kurubatubo. The president of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, has dismissed perception of jumbo salary package for federal lawmakers. Senator Lawan said no federal lawmaker in both chambers of the National Assembly earns more than what is statutorily provided for by the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission. Speaking when the forum of senators led by Senator Kariat Guadabe paid him a courtesy visit. The president of the Senate declared that what the average senator earns was not commensurate with the enormous legislative functions. Senator Laban, who craved for adequate funding of the National Assembly, assured Nigerians that the Ninth Assembly would walk its talks on financial transparency to inspire their confidence. The All Progressives Congress in Ogun State has called on federal authorities to promptly arrest the state's immediate past governor, Ibikunle Amosun, warning that failure to do so would constitute a mockery of the country's rule of law. Spokesperson of APC in Ogun State, Tunde Oladonjoye, in a statement said the handover of such huge arms and ammunition is a confirmation of the party's pre-election outcry that the state was unsafe and that the governor was stockpiling arms and ammunition for the purpose of wreaking havoc. The APC added that if Amosun is not brought to account, then people will continue to mock the rule of law. Former governor of Ogun State, Ibikunle Amosun, surrendered weapons including 4 million bullets, 1,000 units of AK-47 rifles, 1,000 bulletproof vests, and an armored personnel carrier. There are reports that millions of small arms are now in circulation in Nigeria, while illegal access to such arms has now become very easy. This was part of the issues discussed at the BBC Media Action Radio Town Hall meeting on arms proliferation and effect on internal security in Nigeria held in Port Harcourt. Participants at the event outlined some of the reasons why there is a rise in circulation of small arms, including alleged lending of arms to suspected criminals by security personnel in exchange for money, empowerment of youths with arms by politicians during election periods, drug addiction, and the porosity of the nation's borders. On his part, the program's coordinator of the Presidential Committee on Small Arms and Light Weapons, Dixon Orgis, said the government is doing everything it can to curtail the menace of arms proliferation.
That arms coming to the country through our land borders mainly, and then our sea borders as well. And then we see political violence here and there, we see kidnappings here and there, we see insurgencies here and there in the northeast, the Niger Delta and all that. And because these small arms and light weapons are easily accessible, if you just cross the borders maybe to somewhere like Chad or Niger or Benin Republic, on those axes you can easily access these weapons. And then in Niger Delta we have had a case where they do what they call barter. They steal crude oil and then they exchange for weapons on the high sea. So these are part of the reasons why we have influx of weapons into it. It is doing everything possible to see that it's curtailed to the barest minimum.
In the meantime, the leadership of Job Vigilante Group in River State availed the initiative of Today 95.1 FM on a planned security summit coming up on the 6th of July 2019. The spokesman of the group, Prince Amatari, in an interview with our correspondent, said the summit is a step in the right direction, which, when executed, would not only save lives and properties, but also restore security and development in River State. Amatari, while expressing commitment of the Job Vigilante Group to support the initiative, also called on individuals, government, and corporate organizations to see to the success of the summit.
First, I want to give kudos to today's FM because security is a responsibility of everybody. Because when the environment is not safe, it means investors cannot come in. So for Today FM to initiate such a program, I think it is commendable. And commendable in the sense that if you look at the society is going in a particular direction of crime, going in a particular direction where crime, criminality, cultism is the order of the day. So if a body of this nation, a radio station, is trying to initiate a program that will take the minds of the people to a place where the society will come back to a stage where it will be refined, I think it is a welcome development, and I want them to keep it on. Joe Vigilante is very happy in the sense that we are fighting this crime, and we have seen partners who are also helping us to fight this crime in a particular direction.
Iran Secretary of the Supreme National Security Council, Ali Shamkhani, has said the country will abandon more nuclear deal commitments on 7th of July. Shamkhani said the European signatories to the nuclear deal had not done enough to save it. The 2015 deal requires Iran to curb its nuclear program in return for the lifting of sanctions, which the U.S. reimposed after the withdrawing from the deal last year. U.S. President Donald Trump had on Monday signed an executive order imposing sanctions against Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and other senior figures. Iran said the measure spelled the permanent closure of diplomacy between the two nations. President Hassan Rouhani described the White House as afflicted by mental retardation and called for the sanctions against Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei outrageous and idiotic. And that's the size of the package on the news update at 8. Thank you for listening. I am Kala Dakaru Batabo. Good evening to you and stay tuned to Today 95.1 FM. The World Today is up next.
The situation is critical. The issues are diverse.
You see, courtesan in quote is the surname of all other criminalities. But this year, courtesan has a new child known as banditry.
I'm sure you are aware that the 6th Division of Nigeria Army is court-martialing some of its officers for being involved in kidnapping.
There is a consciousness that is going on that if you are into this thing, you become a supreme being.
The whole criminality we are seeing, especially as they occur in River State, they revolve around conflict.
So what if you are volunteering information to an accomplice?
In seeking a solution, the Today FM Anti-Cultism Summit comes up on the 6th of July, time 9 a.m. Keynote speakers are Amalpu Senibo Bobo Sophie Brown, Professor Chief Andrew Efemini, Retired Colonel Owunda, Professor Austin Sadu, and Ken Henshaw of We the People. Also on the table will be representatives of stakeholders and the various organs of influence that can help deal with the stemming tide of cultism. Keep the date, 6th of July 2019, 9 a.m. Let's fight cultism together.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Radio has never been this good. Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
The situation is critical. The issues are diverse.
You see, courtesan in quote is the surname of all other criminalities. But this year, courtesan has a new child known as banditry.
I'm sure you are aware that the 6th Division of Nigeria Army is court-martialing some of its officers for being involved in kidnapping.
There is a consciousness that is going on that if you are into this thing, you become a supreme being.
The whole criminality we are seeing, especially as they occur in River State, they revolve around conflict.
So what if you are volunteering information to an accomplice?
In seeking a solution, the Today FM Anti-Cultism Summit comes up on the 6th of July, time 9 a.m. Keynote speakers are Amalpu Senibo Bobo Sophie Brown, Professor Chief Andrew Efemini, Retired Colonel Owunda, Professor Austin Sadu, and Ken Henshaw of We the People. Also on the table will be representatives of stakeholders and the various organs of influence that can help deal with the stemming tide of cultism. Keep the date, 6th of July 2019, 9 a.m. Let's fight cultism together.
Good evening. This is Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt, Voice of the People, and it is time again for a rundown of the foreign news stories that made the headlines on the world today. In our package tonight, Ethiopia holds funeral service for murdered army chief.
Texas migrant children moved from horrific cells after outcry.
In the United States, Trump appoints Stephanie Grisham as new White House press secretary.
Trump appoints Rouhani derides new U.S. sanctions as useless.
I am Kala Dakarubasabo.
And I am Buchira Fwa.
Now we start with Ethiopia, where in Ethiopia, funeral service has been held for its army chief who was assassinated by his bodyguard over the weekend. An incident believed to be linked to an alleged coup bid in northern Amhara state. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed wept and mourners wailed as the coffin of Sierra Mekonnen, covered in the Ethiopian flag, was carried to the front of a room filled with soldiers in military fatigues in footage carried by state media. Ethiopia has been left reeling after this weekend's violence, a massive blow to Abiy, who has embarked on an ambitious project of economic and political reforms in the nation. However, his efforts have unleashed ethnic violence and turmoil as different groups jockey for resources and power. Internet services were down Tuesday across Ethiopia for a fourth consecutive day.
Away from Africa to the rest of the world, in the UK, Boris Johnson in deal or no deal Brexit challenge to rival Hunt. Boris Johnson has called on his Conservative leadership rival Jeremy Hunt to commit to leaving the EU on 31st October, deal or no deal. Johnson said the two men should agree that the revised Brexit deadline must be met no matter what in order to keep promises to the British people. Hunt suggested he could seek extra time if he was close to getting a better deal but was not quite there. The two are vying to succeed Theresa May, with the winner to be announced on 23rd July.
250 migrant children have been moved from an overcrowded border station in Texas where they had been held for weeks. Some lawyers given access by a judge said the children were severely neglected. One of them told the BBC the children were locked up in horrific cells where there is an open toilet in the middle of the room where they ate and slept. Many parents crossing the U.S. border, most of them from Central America, were separated from the children in 2018. Separately, Border Patrol in Texas reported the deaths of 7 migrants this week who had apparently attempted to circumvent the immigration system, including 2 babies and a toddler.
And in the U.S., President Donald Trump has named Stephanie Grisham, who was until now the spokeswoman for his wife, Melania, as chief White House press secretary. The appointment was announced by Melania Trump on Twitter, replacing the outgoing Sarah Sanders, who has been sharply criticized for rarely briefing journalists who cover the White House. According to Melania's tweet, Grisham will also hold the more strategic post of communications director.
Still in the U.S., U.S. President Donald Trump has again denied allegations he sexually assaulted a columnist in the 1990s, saying she's not his type. Trump said John Carroll was lying about the alleged attack in a New York department store. I'll say it with great respect. Number 1, she's not my type. Number 2, it never happened. It never happened, OK, Trump told The Hill. Carroll, who is 75, made the allegations in the New York Magazine last Friday. In follow-up interviews with CNN and MSNBC, Carroll said she would consider pressing charges against Trump. Carroll is the 16th woman to accuse Trump of sexual misconduct. Trump has denied all allegations against him.
And in India, people in India's West Bengal state are up in arms against politicians demanding their representatives repay bribes. The state's chief minister, Mamata Banerjee, has told ministers to return bribe money if they were paid by citizens seeking access to government schemes. According to police reports, the home of a local leader of her party was raided by residents on Monday who wanted their money back. Now, similar incidents are being reported across the state. A report says protests organized across the state are coming in every day.
In Ukraine, 5 years after Russia had its voting rights removed because of the annexation of Crimea from Ukraine, the Council of Europe's Parliamentary Assembly has voted to restore them. The assembly backed the proposal in the face of angry opposition from Ukraine, whose delegation later walked out. Moscow described the vote as a victory for common sense. Russia had threatened to abandon the 47-member human rights body, which is not linked to the EU. Opponents say the resolution adopted in the early hours on Tuesday at the Assembly's headquarters in Strasbourg is the first crack in international sanctions imposed against Russia in 2014. But supporters say engagement with Russia will help tackle human rights abuses in Russia.
And in Iran, Iran's president has responded with defiance to the latest sanctions imposed by the U.S., saying they show it is lying about wanting dialogue. Hassan Rouhani said the measures against Iran's supreme leader unveiled by President Donald Trump on Monday would be useless and denounced U.S. plans to target his foreign minister. You will recall last week Iranian forces shot down a U.S. surveillance drone they said had violated Iranian airspace over the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. insisted the drone was flying over international waters. The U.S. has also accused Iran of being behind two sets of explosions that have damaged 6 oil tankers in the region, through which a fifth of the world's oil passes every day. Iran has rejected the allegations as well. Tensions between the two countries have escalated steadily since May 2018, when Trump abandoned the landmark 2015 nuclear deal between Iran and 6 world powers and began reinstating sanctions to force Iran to renegotiate the accord.
The first part of Donald Trump's long-awaited plan to end the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is being discussed with Arab ministers in Bahrain. Government, civil society, and business leaders have been invited to a 2-day workshop and proposals for generating rapid Palestinian economic growth. The proposals, unveiled by the White House on Saturday, called for $50 billion to be invested over 10 years. Palestinian leaders have rejected the plan and will not be in Bahrain. Mahmoud Abbas, the president of the Palestinian Authority, insisted on Sunday that before anything else, there had to be a political agreement.
Again, a summary of the foreign news stories that it made headlines.
Ethiopia holds funeral service for murdered army chief.
And in the U.S., Texas migrant children moved from horrific cells after outcry.
Trump appoints Stephanie Grisham as new White House press secretary.
And in Iran, Rouhani derided new U.S. sanctions as useless.
That concludes tonight's edition of The World Today, as produced by Funaya Obema and the of the News Department.
Till same time tomorrow, do have a lovely evening. I am Buchira 4.
And I am Kala Dakuru Batubo. Good evening.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
yeah. I pray for wisdom. Pray for strength. Oh. Hey. Oh Lord, save me from frenemies. May nothing come to join our destiny. May nothing make me deal with their fallacies. For my house or even if they're overseas. Oh Lord, give me bazooka. Make I bomb them, scatter them from area. The fire will go follow them. The Holy Ghost fire, my brother. No be small matter. As I look out through my window, me I know they see them happy. Them don't enter house already. They follow me, smoke my body. Oh Lord, now you go save me. And as I take another step, I hear whatever I hear. I say who they there, who will come and bite me for here. Meanwhile, before the mosquito I've been there. Now everything's suspicious in the air. I start to follow them slowly. I start to wonder why they won't shut themselves out from glory. I start to wonder how them know me. And if you check on where, them been the picture for my story. Oh Lord, save me from frenemies. May nothing come to join our destiny. May nothing make me deal with their fallacies. For my house or even if they're overseas. Oh Lord, give me bazooka. Make I bomb them, scatter them from area. The fire will go follow them. The Holy Ghost fire, my brother. Don't be small matter. And if I do you wrong before, if I table all the matter on the floor, will you believe me? Yeah, will you forgive me? Because I don't want to be living with no bad blood, and to be friends with the pessimist, no by force. I want to live my life, I beg you, make you live yours, so make you carry your all, I make I carry my cross. Because I know it's not to explain your problem. Me, I did my corner, just to maintain my problem. And negative energy don't go ever help me solve them. See me, see problem. Oh Lord, save me from frenemies. May nothing come to join our destiny. May nothing make me deal with their fallacies. For my house or even if they're overseas. Oh Lord, give me bazooka. Make I bomb them, scatter them from area. The fire will go follow them. The Holy Ghost fire, my brother. Love is my mother.
What do you did think before? What to make you feel said I'm loving for sure? What to be they make you believe them before? Oh, because they're weighing up your. That's all them gonna knock on your door. They shine their teeth as they suck on your blood. I say this now as I've been talking before. I say they're weighing up your.
Oh Lord, save me from frenemies. May nothing come to join our destiny. May nothing make me deal with their fallacies. For my house or even if they're overseas. Oh Lord, give me bazooka. Make I bomb them, scatter them from area. The fire will go follow them. The Holy Ghost fire, my brother. No be small matter.
It's Richie on the beat.
We don't wait for them to move.
Yeah. It's a general saying that African men are not romantic. Not me, man. I'm straight. My name is Zubi and I'm a one-woman man. I got this girl and I'm really in love with her, man. Yeah. I don't know whether or not because she's big, bold, or sometimes stubborn, good looking. They get what she tell me once, and it always ring for my head, and it goes like this.
I did see you, boy, from my area. Every time I see you, they give me malaria. Each time I pray, the pain will go away. But every time I turn around, I see your lovely face. My friends, they tell me, say, I don't go low. Say, even when I go Chris, I don't go no. Say, the way I did love, say, no be so. Say, even when I kill myself, I don't go no. Wait till you do me, wait till you give me. How you do, and the way you do, because it's strong, well, and I love you, well. I can cry, well, I can find, well. I can try to pretend, but boy, you look so tender. Back to sender, whatever, man, I don't surrender.